Yo, 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 what up? Today we are talking about emotional intelligence. How to get your emotions under control. Have you ever felt like this? Fuck you! Like, you ever just felt nuts emotionally? You ever just felt like your emotions were running you, like you were on an emotional roller coaster? Well, in today's video, we're going to talk about how to get your emotions under control. We're going to do that here in just a second. So, if you are joining us live, definitely let us know where you are coming from. I'd love to see where different people are looking at these messages. Selvin, Anthony, how you guys doing? Thanks for watching. We're talking about emotional control today, emotional intelligence. I actually just saw something happen in Target, and that really made me want to do this video because people really are crazy. I'm one of them. Are you crazy? I'm crazy. And our emotions can make us feel that way. Merry Christmas to you too, brother. Yeah, happy holidays, guys. I don't know how your Christmas was, but mine was awesome. And I got this really cool tripod. You can't see it, but this really cool tripod for Christmas. Anyway, it was awesome. So listen, I just want to do a really quick message. I want to respond to you, Christine, but I don't because I got to see you later. And Anthony, welcome to the club. I'm crazy too. Matter of fact, let me tell you how crazy I used to be. Matter of fact, I would do it like this. Hi, my name is Steve, and I'm a recovering asshole. Ha! And if you're a recovering asshole, definitely put your hand up and say me too, so I don't feel like I'm by myself. Even if I am by myself, that's okay. But I'm a recovering asshole. And a lot of it had to do with I was really emotionally out of control. I spent a lot of my teens and 20s completely emotionally out of control. And if you've ever felt that way, definitely comment. But this is why it's been such an important topic to me. Emotional control, emotional intelligence, and how to get your emotions under control. Because a lot of people really don't understand how their emotions work. And your emotions can work in your favor. And your emotions run you. But unfortunately, you don't have a say-so in how your emotions run you if you don't know how they work. Because believe it or not, our emotions are there to serve a purpose. And I used to be emotionally off the hinges. Like, you know how some people say they have a short fuse? Well, guess what? I didn't have a fuse. Like, no fuse. Like, it was click, click, boom, right? It was just like, it was like Incredible Hulk status. Like, it was just, something would happen. And matter of fact, I have some friends who that I work with in I help people with addiction, right? And so they were like, I had an addiction too. My addiction was to anger. I had a huge addiction to anger. And I've spent years trying to get my anger under control, right? A temper. Yes, Steve Bacon has a temper. Now, it will take heaven and earth to try to get me angry now. But before, back in my 20s, oh my God, I didn't even have a fuse. It was literally just, again, click, click, boom, right? I was an Incredible Hulk status. And so I had to learn how to get my emotions under control because it would get me in so much trouble. Like, I literally got a job as a bouncer just to beat people up. That's how fucking angry I was. That's how much anger I was carrying around in my body. And I was just looking for a reason to tear shit up. Yes, that was my addiction. It was called TSU. Tear shit up. That's what I do when I'm angry. I tear shit up. Incredible Hulk status. Matter of fact, I even got that nickname while I was in the military, Incredible Hulk, because of my anger issues. So I had to learn how to get my angers under control because two things were going to happen if I didn't learn how to get my anger under control. Number one, I was going to end up dead. Or number two, I was going to end up in jail. One of those two things were going to happen. I was either going to be dead or in jail or on trial. Number three, or on trial. Dead, in jail, or on trial. I guess trial and jail go together. My point is, I started to really hone in and focus on why my emotions were controlling me. And so I started to really study human emotion. And what I'm about to share with you, I didn't make any of this shit up, right? The reason why you want to subscribe to our channel is because my job is to make your journey of personal development a little bit easier by providing you with resources and content and directions you can go, because you got kids and you're busy, right? So we want to do all the legwork for you when it comes to looking at ways to improve. But I digress. Here's my point. Getting your emotions under control is so important, because studies show that 98% of success has to do with emotional intelligence. It has to do with how well you react to things. And 58% of studies also show that 58% of success at work has to do with emotional intelligence, being able to get your emotions under control. We're wired. God wired us to be emotional creatures. That's why I'm saying, if you're emotional, great. But it's only bad when you don't know why you're emotional or how your emotions work. That's the part that sucks. When you're emotional, you don't know why. So God wired us to be emotional creatures. Everything you see, hear, feel, touch, everything, our brain is evaluating and decoding. Every image that comes in from the outside world, our brain is decoding and evaluating. And so it creates nerves and electrical impulses that go through the back of your spine and up through your limbic part of the limbic. Right here is the emotional part. So everything goes through here first, and then it takes a second and it gets to the rational part, the front part of the frontal lobe, right? This is where rational thinking happens. This is why in anger classes they say things like, breathe or count to 10, because everything we do starts in the emotional part first, then it makes its way over to the rational part piece, which simply means we are wired to experience everything emotionally first. There's nothing, we can't just be like unemotional unless you're a psychopath, and then you need a different kind of help. You don't need coaching, you need therapy, right? But for us normal people, we're wired to be emotional. So everything we experience happens emotionally first. So understanding just that part alone, just understanding that everything you see, everything you experience, everything you touch, every argument, every conversation, your brain is taking it in, it's evaluating, it's decoding it, and it's creating an image. And that is the image that we attach to the situation, or the image that we attach to the situation is what creates the reaction. And so that emotional response first, so we have the emotional response first, then it comes to the frontal lobe, right? The front part of the brain, the rational part of the brain. And that's where you literally can start to do things like ask yourself questions. And this is how you get your emotions under control. You ask questions, right? If you're feeling something, ask yourself questions. Now in future videos, we'll get into talking about what each emotion means. But right now, I just want to give you the basics of it, which is, number one, everything we see, I'm going to keep repeating the same stuff, guys. Everything we see, hear, feel, and touch creates a nerve, right? Or electrical impulses that starts at the base of the spine, goes up into the limbic part of the brain, and then it takes a second, it travels up to the frontal lobe, the prefrontal cortex, right here where rational thinking happens, but that takes a second. And so the way to get your emotions under control is by learning to ask yourself questions so that you can have a rational reaction. So you can respond versus react. This is what I had to learn. I had to learn how to respond versus just react. And reaction comes when, again, you don't know how your emotions work, and then you just fly off the hinges. You feel something and you fly off the hinges. And it can get you in a lot of trouble. It got me into a lot of trouble. So ask yourself questions about why you're feeling that way. If you're feeling something, ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? Or what about the situation is making me feel this way? And then ask yourself, am I interpreting this situation right? Because we all see things differently. Right? There's 6 billion people on the planet, and not one of us or not two of us are seeing the same thing. We all experience life differently. Like if I say, perfect example of how you experience things differently, or how different things have different meanings. That's what I meant to say. Everything has a different meaning. So if I were to say, let's get together soon, right? Linguistically, soon is a very ambiguous word, which means we all can take our own, and we all have different interpretations of that word. So if I say let's get together soon, soon to you might be tomorrow. But soon to me might be next week. See how people's wires can get crossed? I'm going to repeat that. If we have the word, if I say let's get together soon, soon to you may mean tomorrow. Soon to me may mean next week. So if you're in a certain situation and something's making you feel some type of way, ask yourself how you're interpreting, and then ask yourself how that person might be interpreting the situation, because what you feel offended by, if let's say for instance, if you're getting angry because somebody's offending you, what you're feeling offended by, they may not have had a malicious intent behind it. It just the way you interpreted right? The nerves and how the image that you created and the reaction, all that is just your perspective. The other person may be completely, I'm not going to say innocent, but there's no malicious intent behind it. You just have two different meanings of the same thing, or the same situation, or the same, sentence or word or whatever. So number one, ask yourself, what about the situation is making you angry? Number two, or whatever you're feeling, angry, sad, depressed, guilty, hurt. What about the situation is making you feel that way? And then ask yourself, if there's another person involved, how they may be interpreting that situation, or what other ways could they have meant it that is not offensive to you, right? And if that's the case, what we're talking about, somebody offending you. And then I do what I call tweet journaling. Now this is I'm not saying go on Twitter, but I just call this tweet journaling. This will help you get an accurate thought, or an accurate something that you can communicate, because it's important that if you're feeling something, to be able to communicate it effectively. This is where adults and children are supposed to be different. But I have a 7-year-old, and when he was younger, and even now, if he doesn't know how to communicate effectively, he will start to cry, and he will start to get angry. And guess what? Adults are like very big ass children. So if they don't know how to effectively communicate, then they will just lash out and act out, right? So it's important to not only understand why you feel a certain way, but how to communicate effectively. And I came up with something I call tweet journaling. And what that simply means is, can you describe how you feel about a certain situation, or what's making you feel that way, in 144 characters or less? I'm not saying go on Twitter and post it, but I'm saying grab a piece of grab a piece of paper or a notebook, and try to write in 144 letters or less how you feel and why you feel that way about a certain situation. This will help you narrow it down, and naturally you'll start to ask yourself questions to where you can get an accurate reason or accurate description of how you feel and why it makes you feel that way, so that you can effectively communicate it to somebody else. So anyway, I just wanted to touch on that for a second, about how to get emotions under control. But we will, in future videos, I might even do it tomorrow, start getting into what each emotion means, because when you know what each emotion means, thank you, Janelle, appreciate that, or Renee. Yeah, tweet journaling, it really does work, right? But when you can figure out when you know what each emotion means, then you will really start to get your emotions under control, because you'll be able to evaluate them more effectively. And we're going to talk about that in future videos. And we may even just dedicate one video to each emotion, so that it gets its own thing, and you be able to ask questions as well. So listen, family, that's my talk for today. How to get your emotions under control. Again, ask yourself, what is making you feel this way, or what is it about the situation that's making you feel this way, Number two, how is a person interpreting the same situation, because it may not be what you think it is, right? So, but you start asking. But then do what I call tweet journaling. Try to describe how you feel and why you feel that way in 144 characters or less, because again, naturally you'll start to ask yourself questions. You'll start to naturally ask yourself questions to get an accurate description, so that you can not only know for yourself, but you can effectively communicate that with somebody else. If this video has helped you out, family, listen, like this video, comment down below, share this video, tag other people in this video, so that we can get the message out. And again, we'll be doing future videos. We got a lot of stuff lined up for this next coming year. I'm so excited. We've been in the studio. I'm heading to the studio tonight to do some more recording. We've got a gift for you coming in the new year. I'm so excited. We're going to be talking more about the gift that we have for you all. Matter of fact, I'll just let you know, let the cat out the bag. It's a new audio that we're recording called Rewrite the Code, right? Our brains are like computers. And if you understand how your brain works, I'm telling you, life can be so easy. And so that's a free gift we're going to be giving out. We're recording that right now. And we'll talk more about that in the beginning of the new year. But Rewrite the Code. I'm so excited. So again, like this video, share this video. We definitely appreciate you. Join us tomorrow night, because we'll be doing this again. And don't forget to like our page at Real Steve Bacon. Like us on Instagram at Real Steve Bacon. If you've got questions that you want me to address, I'm not gonna post your name obviously, but if there's a question that you have that you want me to address, either hit me in the inbox here on the message, or email me at realstevebacon@gmail.com. I'd definitely love to get your questions answered. If there's future topics that you want us to cover when it comes to behavioral change and emotions and things like that, definitely post it, or put it in the comment section, or send me an email. Again, realstevebacon@gmail.com, or send me a direct message if we're friends on Facebook, or if you've liked our page, and I will definitely get those topics addressed. But until next time, family, this is your boy Steve Bacon, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care.